Hey guys, Vidhu here, back with another video. Today we're gonna talk about HIIT or high intensity interval training. High intensity interval training is broken down into four words: high intensity and interval training. Interval training is, as you might know, training in bouts, in sets. For example, I do an interval of 30 seconds of faster run, and then I walk for another 30 seconds or 60 seconds, depends. So this is called interval training. When I add high intensity to the interval training, the entire exercise ramps up. The intensity, when taken to the highest level, taxes not just your body, it taxes your nervous system, your brain, okay, and it has limited capacity. So when you say high intensity interval training, you are going all out, balls out effort in your intervals, your bouts. And when you are doing that, it is evident that you are giving 100%, 110% in each of your bout. So you will need more rest in between sets. Athletes take as high as 3 to 5 minutes. There has been observation from coaches whose ratio of work to rest is 1:72 as well, that high. So you're gonna rest for around 20 seconds of a full out, all out sprint. You're gonna rest for around 5 minutes, right? That high or that taxing this thing is. So when you talk about high intensity interval training, do not complicate. This is not a medium intensity interval training. This is not a steady state interval training. Some people will run for around 2 minutes at a little faster pace and then rest, or maybe walk, or maybe slow down their run, and they call it high intensity interval training. I don't call it, because that is medium intensity, or that is a tempo run, if I may. Okay, so this is what is high intensity interval training. Get your ideas clear. High intensity means maximal effort, all out effort. Okay, how do we use HIIT? There are multiple factors. There could be a sports specific activity you want to support or you want to build. For example, marathoners, they want to build up speed. So they might want to work on lactate. So many of the marathoners, okay, I know many of the triathletes that I know, they do hill repeats. They'll run up a hill as fast as possible, then walk down. This is how they're building the lactate threshold of their lower body muscles. It is also helping them build their cardiovascular work capacity. Okay, so I'll come to the benefits later, but you can use it with your runs, you can use it with your swims, you can use it with your bicycles, you can use it. A very common thing is CrossFit. What is CrossFit? You're using multiple exercises and you're taking minimal rest in between. It's a circuit, you rest, circuit, and you rest. That is also an interval training, but if you are going all out in all the efforts that you're doing, that's a high intensity interval training. Coming to the benefits of high intensity interval training. As I mentioned, lactate threshold, very important for people who want to build their endurance, who after a point, if you're running, after a point the legs start to burn. To sustain that burn, or to build the capacity of the legs to endure the burn, you can use a lot of sprint training, a lot of high intensity tempos, high intensity interval runs. Same with your swims, your bikes, same with your CrossFit type of events. There are multiple factors you could manipulate. You can manipulate the duration of the activity, you can manipulate the time of the rest, you can manipulate the frequency, how much you want to do in a week, how much you want to do in a day. All these factors have to be manipulated. After all this is said and done, what is the most important? When I say high intensity interval training is taxing not just your body but also your nervous system, I can equate it to a weightlifting session. Because my weightlifting session is also not just taxing my body, it is also taxing my nervous system, my brain. So much so that I may need 48, 72, sometimes 96 hours to recover and get back to lifting safely and fresh. Same goes with HIIT. You need to understand the limits of your body. You need to understand the other activities you're doing along the day, or the week, or the month, or the phase that you're training for, or the activity. You need to understand whatever high intensity training you are planning for yourself, interval training that you are planning for yourself, you are recovering fully from that, so that you perform your next activity while being fresh. High intensity interval training has been shown to interfere with weightlifting sessions. So if you are thinking that you're gonna lose fat just because you are sprinting every alternate day with your weight training, first of all, you're gonna drain out very easily. Second, it's gonna interfere with your lifting sessions. So let's say I lift on Monday, I sprint on Tuesday, then I do my leg workout on Wednesday, or maybe even a chest workout on Wednesday. I'm not going to apply 100%. I cannot, because my nervous system is drained. I need to rest, and that is why it is of prime importance to recover fully. If you can do that, then you change up the parameters of time, of frequency, of the speed, of the duration of your sprints or your high intensity intervals, right? So that is specific to the individual. Some other things to note are high intensity interval training should not be performed by beginners, because beginners are not ready. Their bodies or their nervous systems are not ready to take up that load. Many beginners find it fascinating to complete a workout in 10 minutes, complete a tabata in 8 minutes. It's absurd. It's not doing anything, because it might also worsen it. It might cause injuries. I've seen people who start sprinting without having a base of runs, or without having a base of stability and core strength in their bodies, and they pull a hamstring, or then they're pulling the groin. It's absurd, and then you have to rest for a month, 2 months. Sometimes they don't even get back. It's sad. Don't be a fool. Be smart. Always build a base of general preparation, general full body lifting, general walking, and then gradually building up to 30-minute runs, 5Ks. Do that. Give it some time, 6-8 months, 1 year, 2 years. Then you add in high intensity interval training. The more it is sports specific, the better. Okay, if you're randomly using it, be very, very smart in choosing your parameters on how you're using it. Otherwise, your other areas are going to suffer, right? I also went through a few research papers which were indicating, that high intensity interval training is further classified into aerobic high intensity and anaerobic or sprint high intensity. So that has complicated it a little bit, but what I always see high intensity as is an all-out maximal effort. That is what I also prefer, or what I also preach in my lifting. High intensity means maximal effort, beyond which you cannot go. That is your limit. Okay, you need to build that limit, but for that day, that is your limit. How does HIIT share against a long steady state activity? For example, if you're sprinting, how does that compare how does that compare to a steady state run, a long distance run? Let's say a 10-kilometer run. There has been evidence that has shown that high intensity interval training has better cardiovascular enhancement properties. When you are doing high intensity interval training, your heart pumps faster, you develop your VO2 max better as compared to the long distance runs. But I'm not negating the fact that I have observed athletes only using steady state training for a duration of time, especially in the beginner years, and they have really developed their VO2 max quite well. Okay, HIIT can be used, tempos can be used sparingly. They can definitely enhance your VO2 max and get you to a next athletic potential. When it comes to fat loss, or maybe some people try to use sprints and working hard just to lose fat, get lean. First is nutrition. Of course, you need to eat less than what you're burning. Second is recovery. Third is, why do you want to tax your nervous system just to lose fat? You can do that just by simply walking on a regular basis, 10,000 steps on a regular basis, distance runs which are not that taxing on your body, or maybe simply dialing your nutrition even further. Your HIIT bouts are taxing your nervous system, and that is not getting you stronger. Get strong, regulate your nutrition, add a layer of cardiovascular general health on top of it. Now if you want to have fun, or if you are playing a sport and want to prepare, then only use HIIT. Okay, and always take care to recover well. So this was the whole and soul of the HIIT. If you have any doubts, you can share with me in the comment section. You can DM me on my Instagram, and I'll be happy to help you.